said this before in part, but I'll say it again. People, we fool ourselves. We fool ourselves. And maybe it's life in some way, maybe it's God, I don't know. But we fool ourselves. And I'll give you an example. And this is an example of hope. I'm going to give you some hope. Even though it's going to start out like it's not hopeful, but I'll try to get to this pretty quickly. In the last election, we had a very glorious candidate to perfection. Went against this completely flawed individual. Flawed. I'm not going to mention all the flawness. You already know it. But the country chose this flawed human being, and then they tried to justify it with religion in some parts. They tried to justify it with the economy. Wherever they could justify it in their heads, they did. But the truth of the matter is, they just didn't want to go with this woman, let alone a black woman. They just couldn't do it. We've had 2 opportunities, and both times they just couldn't do it. That's the real reason. The real reason why the current administration is in office right now is one reason. Two. They couldn't go with the woman or the black woman. That's the main reason. That's what this is all about. It's nothing more than that. It's mostly about that. It's not the eggs were increasing. It's not, he's the chosen one. This BS about the children. It's nothing to do with that. And it's not even about white nationalists or racism for the most part. There's a little bit there. It's not really even about that. It's just they couldn't choose the woman. They couldn't do it. To our detriment, mind you. They couldn't do it. Or the black woman, right? But this is how life fools you, or maybe even it's God. I don't know, right? Which is, so they won, but the talking points of this other group was white nationalism, was racism, and all this stuff. That's what they were about. But they didn't win because of that. I told you, they didn't win because of that. They won because they couldn't accept this other thing, not because they wanted this to happen. So here we are, and this other thing is happening. The white nationalism, the racism, and the leaders of this party are just pushing this thing full halt because they think that's why they won. So they're exposing themselves, they're exposing other people as if this is the reason, but it's not the reason. So as they're going full halt in this direction that the country does not want to go in, the vast majority of us does not want to go in. They just made a choice. It was a wrong choice, but they just made a choice. They're just getting obnoxious in this direction. They're exposing themselves in this direction. And all they're doing is set themselves up. So in the next elections, or whatever elections come next, that people are going to make that decision that we didn't want this, never wanted this, and we're going to choose a different route.